Hello and welcome back to my channel. So, for once, I finally read enough books in a month to make a video about them. Usually I do the videos I read in a year, as you saw like a month ago, but this time I finally read enough books in a month where it's acceptable to make a video. That's not the right word. Anyway, I read 7 books this month. Last month, you're watching this in February, so in January. The point is, I read enough books in January where I can make a video talking about the books that I read. I only read 7. I almost read 8, but I didn't finish the book in time. I didn't have enough time to finish it this week, so I figured I'd just do the 7 that I'd completely finished and read. So yeah, I guess we'll get into this. First of all, I love this book a lot. It's so good. Please read this book. I want to personally thank YOU L.C. for this book. I saw YOU L.C. at YOU Fest at a panel, and he had his book set out on the table, which is Jack of Hearts and Other Parts, and I really liked him in the panel. And his book looked interesting, so I thought I would read it. So when I got home from YOU Fest, I looked the book up and I got it with some Christmas money. And it's good. It's really, really good. I really wish I had read this book before YOU Fest so I could have gone up to YOU L.C. and personally thanked him for this book because I love it that much. I also love his cat. I want to tell him that I love his cat. I adore his cat. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. I had a hard time moving it down. I finished it in like 2 days. This book is about this guy right here called Jack. He is out of the closet. He is very loud and proud about it. And he ends up doing a little column for one of his friends in her blog. He ends up doing a column, and the rumors going around that he's doing a column. He starts getting really, really creepy notes in his locker. Turns out he has a stalker. And also, in the answers for the column, they're handled really, really well. I enjoyed reading those a lot. And I just enjoyed this book in general, front to back. I will probably read this again this year, actually. I really, really, really want the chance to meet YOU so I can just personally thank him for this book. I love it so much. Like, I adore this book. It's so good. Please read it. He did such a great job with it. It's beautiful. Alright, and then the second book I have it's kind of a funny story by Ned Vizzini. I really like this book a lot. It's about a guy who, he's mentally ill, he has depression, and he's struggling. He goes off his medication, he has a really, really bad time, and he ends up in a mental hospital for 5 days. And Ned Vizzini actually wrote this after his own experience in a mental hospital for like 5 days. I liked this book because I was able to relate to the main character, Craig, a lot. And I also really like that in this book, while he was in the mental hospital for 5 days, he was talking to his therapist. And in it, she kind of explained to him about anchors, which are things that kind of help you. It's kind of like a coping mechanism. And I really like that in it, his therapist told him that he can't use people as anchors. So an anchor could be art, which in the book, that's what it is for Craig. Is that a spoiler? I don't know. It's basically like an outlet where you can express yourself and just something that kind of helps you get through things. And I really liked that in this book, they made a point to talk about how you can't let people be your anchors because people can leave, people change, people die all the time, so you cannot let a person be your anchor. And also, if a person is an anchor and they know they're an anchor for you, that puts so much pressure on them and it's not healthy. So I really like that they talked about that in this book. Also, there's a film adaptation of this book that I watched after reading it. My friend and I actually watched it because I read this book and then I let her borrow it because she lives with me and I have a library in my room, so she just comes and grabs books every now and then. And I read it, she read it immediately after me, and then we decided to watch the film adaptation together. I didn't like it at all. I really didn't like it. Normally, I enjoy film adaptations. It's rare that I actually find a film adaptation that I seriously have a problem with and I really thoroughly don't enjoy, because I'm able to separate the book from the movie. The reason I didn't like the movie I didn't like the movie. Number one, because it missed a big part of the book. It only talked about Craig, the main character, his experience actually in the hospital. It gave some backstory, but not very much. And I didn't like that because the mental hospital bit is such a small part of the book. It's maybe 100 pages. It's not that much. Maybe 200 pages. It's really not that much of a mental hospital. It's not that much. The majority of this book deals with before he goes into the hospital. Talks about why he ends up there, some of the things he deals with, like really bad anxiety, throwing up all the time, hearing a voice in his head, just generally being depressed and miserable. And it talks about tentacles in his life that make him feel trapped. And the beginning of this book was just so important, and they completely missed the first part of it. He's depressed. He's clinically depressed. It's not situational depression. It is clinical depression, and the movie kind of made it seem like his depression was situational and that he was just being overly dramatic and that his depression wasn't real and his struggles weren't real and that he shouldn't be in a mental hospital for help because he doesn't need it. He just needs to, like, grow up is what I got from the movie, which is not what I got from this book at all. This book talked about clinical mental illness being so real, and in the movie they made it seem like Craig was just sad and he needed to get over it. And it sucked. Another thing is that in the book, spoiler, I guess, kind of, there is a character in it. Her name is Noelle. She has cuts all over her face that she did to herself because she was sexually assaulted. And she thought people would finally leave her alone if she made herself look ugly and not beautiful anymore. So in the book, she has cuts all over her face. She tried to completely disfigure herself. And in the movie, they didn't even talk about it. She had 3 small scratches on her face, and they didn't even talk about why she did it at all. And it's so important that they talked about why she did it. And she had been in the mental hospital for about a month, but it was just, it just upset me greatly that they missed so many important things about this book. But this book is really good. I don't recommend the movie at all. The movie missed the entire point of the book. You don't really get anything from the movie except main character needs to get over himself and move on, basically. And I tried very hard to like the movie. I try so hard to like film adaptations, and I like most of them. They're not accurate, but they're still good on their own. But then with this, I couldn't even enjoy it on its own because it just messed up everything so badly and missed the entire point. So don't watch the movie. Moving on. Next, I have something a little more uplifting, which is What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. This is such a cute book. I love this book a lot. It is adorable. It is so cute. If you know me, I love Becky Albertalli and I love Adam Silvera. I love them both very much. I will read whatever they put out. I trust them with my life. I adore them. Becky's the cutest person in the entire universe. When I met her, she's literally the most adorable person in the entire world. Adam, haven't gotten to meet you yet, but I very much like to. If you ever end up in South Carolina again. It's about a guy who's spending a summer in New York, and he ends up bumping into another guy. And it talks about, like, fate and destiny and things like that, and it's just really cute. The ending made me cry, but it was a good ending that I was very satisfied with. I recommend this book a lot. I don't want to give too much away, but it's really cute. The next book is more depressing. This Is Where It Ends by Marieke Nijkamp. Nijkamp? I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry. It is about a school shooting. One thing I really like about this book is with the chapters, it goes by the time. So it was like 10 a.m. and then a chapter and then a whole bunch of different perspectives from people that was going on. It's about a boy who goes in, shoots up a school, traps a bunch of people in an auditorium. There are some people stuck on the outside who try to help. There's also some people outside the building who try to help. And it goes through the minutes and everything that happens during the shooting. And it was really good. I couldn't put it down. This book stressed me out a lot. I couldn't put it down. I had to find out what happened. It makes your heart race. It was wild. It's really good though. So you should read it. Next is Here to Stay by Sarah for Reason. I also saw her at YOU.L.Fest. She was really cool, really funny. So I wanted to read one of her books. And this was the book she talked about most on the panel, which is Here to Stay. It is about a kid. His name is Bijan. and it's about how he's on a basketball team temporarily, makes a really good shot, wins the game for everyone, starts getting really, really popular, and then an email is sent bullying him. Basically calling him a terrorist and dressing him up like a terrorist. It's only like 200 pages, so I got through this pretty quickly. It opened my eyes to a lot of things I never thought about, and I just really recommend it. It was really, really good. This book, while it'll kind of make you sad though, but it was really good. And I really like Sarah. Sarah is really cool. She's really funny and nice and hilarious. All during YOU L Fest, she was so funny. But yeah, I'm probably gonna read more of her books this year because she's a very talented writer. Another book by another author I learned about in YOU L Fest, Adib Khorram, in his book Darius the Great is Not Okay. It's about him and his family going to Iran to meet the rest of his mother's family because his grandfather is dying from a brain tumor. He had never met his grandparents before or the rest of his family because they lived in Iran and he was from America. I also really like Darius because he's a tea enthusiast. Turns out the author is also a tea enthusiast, so what's not to love? Okay, and the last book I have is the Dear Evan Hansen novel. I picked this up at Barnes & Noble in December when they were having a sale. I got this and a few of the other books here. And I read it, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I like that the novel gives you more information than it does the script, because I read the script already. And I'm actually seeing Dear Evan Hansen in July, so I'm really excited about it. And this book kind of got me more excited for it. Since it's the Barnes & Noble exclusive, they have extra stuff in the back. And the extra stuff in the back includes the fact that the author wrote a lot of this book while in the bathtub, which I love. Oh, here it is. Okay, it's in the Val's writing playlist thing. While writing this book, I always had music on in the background, unless I was in the bathtub, one of my favorite places to write. So then it talks about, like, the music that he listened to while writing it. Also, I like that, though, that he likes writing in the bathtub. That's cool. I like that. But yeah, this book was really good. I really enjoyed it. I liked seeing more of it. And then, of course, I'll be seeing the musical for the first time in July, which is super exciting. I'm so excited to see it. It's gonna be so fun. And those are all the books that I read in January. And then I almost finished this one, which is Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson. I read her other book, which is Winter Girls, last year, which is up on that shelf over there. So one of my friends recommended this book to me. One of my very good friends, Lacey. I love her. She recommended this book to me, so I bought it. And I'm almost done with it. I'm very close to finishing it. I think I only have like 100 pages left, but I haven't had the chance to finish this week. But I've been really enjoying this. I'm gonna roughly tell you what it's about, even though I haven't finished it yet. Basically, one thing that I really like about this book is the main character. She's depressed and she's going through something, but you don't really pick it up until you read further in, because the book, it basically is just going through her year of school and doesn't give you much information about what's actually like really going on with her, and you slowly figure it out through the book, and I really like that. It's very interesting. Yeah, this is what I'm reading now. And I am also finally reading A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I hadn't started reading it yet because it's a very thick book. It's got like 800 pages in it. It's a very thick book. So I hadn't gotten around to reading it yet, but I just started. I finally finished the first chapter, which is like 30 pages. I can't say how I feel about this yet because, again, I just started reading it, but these are what I'm reading now. I nearly dropped them. So that concludes the books that I read in January. And maybe, if I read enough in February, we'll do this again. But yeah. I keep burping. I had a lot of soda. But yeah, let me know if you read any of these books, or if you have, or you're going to, I guess. My two favorites were definitely Jack of Hearts and Other Parts, and it's kind of a funny story. Those were my two favorites. But obviously, I recommend all of them that I talked about today. I really enjoyed them. So yeah. Okay. I think that's it. I don't have anything else to say. So I will see you guys next week. Happy reading, I guess, or whatever it is you do. Hope you have a good week, a good day. Thank you for watching. If you did, please like and subscribe. And again, you can still continue to recommend me books in the comments. Always open to that. And yeah, okay. Alright, that's it. But yes, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe because that'd be nice. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. And that's all. Okay. Bye.